He said, so you may play, you may not. He said, we're happy to have you, we love you, but you could either be a small contributor maybe next year, or you can be the team Rudy. Yeah. Like Rudy from the movie.
Yeah. And never get in, but you.
No, Rudy's a cute story, but Rudy sucked. Yeah. Like, let's just be honest.
Yeah.
Man, I didn't even hear nothing he said after that.
Yeah.
My ego had just taken full control.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
your head probably got hot, stomach rose up.
Oh, man, my stomach dropped, and I had to fight back angry tears. I stood outside of his office for probably 10 minutes and just stood there. Now, from that meeting, dog, I walked to the locker room on some impulsive emotion. I was hoping that the door was locked, and it wasn't.
You got your shit.
I got my stuff. And I went back to his office, and they were having a coaches meeting, and I told him my decision. And then I stood outside that office I sat on the stairs and outside the office for 30 minutes because I knew I made the wrong choice. But I couldn't go back at this point. You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
And the crazy part is, my whole life dream was to play at North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew after a certain time I wasn't going to get there. But our first game that year was against Florida State.
Mm-hmm.
Florida State is in the ACC.
Mm-hmm.
ACC is where North Carolina was at the time.
Yeah,
so I'd have been playing on the same courts.
Yeah.
And instead, that night that they were playing at Florida State, I was out in the club.
Mm-hmm.
Because truthfully, I should have spent more time in that gym.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I was in junior college, I worked hard, but I could have worked harder. I could have not gone to parties. I could have not, done this, that. I could have been in that gym to where I let the work speak, Instead, I'm talking, And so, man, I ended up getting stabbed that night. They were playing, when they was at Florida State, I got stabbed at the club. And so I'm just looking, I'm in the hospital like, what am I doing, bro?
Man, when you out of alignment,
it gets wicked.
You out of the protection,
it gets
too.
Wicked.
It gets nasty.
So
Are we live? We live. Okay, so I ain't gonna curse.
I make magic since 12 life been showing the whole city that it can happen on your time. Dig a little deeper, you a gold mine. A slow grind is better than no grind. Next time you look up, it'll be showtime. That's your shine. Bask in the limelight. You pro now. Just make me one promise you won't slow down. It's your time.
But
it's over.
Man, you always been a decisive man. I felt free, man. Like I've been wanting a cut for months, and I've been considering a cut for months. I've been wanting one for a month, and I booked it. I got my boy who cuts. I've only got my hair cut by somebody in the last maybe 5-6 years, but twice. You know what I'm saying? And I booked my boy, a cat named Josh, Top Tier Fades. I booked him because he's a lot like me. You know what I'm saying? Good cutter, professional. I knew it was gonna be money well spent. And so I went over there, man, and he got me together. I just was tired of like the shedding.
That looks good, man.
Thank you.
Some people come off them braids and it's tough sledding, baby.
But you know what? I'm not trying to. I knew I had a game plan though, and,
right.
and thank you to genetics a little bit. But because I had braids and like buns and ponytail, all my hair's trained back. So I was like, okay, bet. Leave 2.5 inches, and I'm gonna wear it back. I'm gonna go Jalen Hurts ball fade, but longer on the top. I almost did the goatee.
You okay?
I almost, but
that would have been too much of a change.
Maybe.
Baby boy would have looked like, ooh, wait a minute.
Yeah. My son would have cried.
Wait a minute.
He would have cried.
It's too much face. I'm seeing
Jamie
too much face.
Jamie's like, maybe I don't know. And yesterday I was like playing with it. I said, man, I could really get off with the goatee, but I got to keep the beard right now. I'm selling a beard balm and a beard,
Yeah.
I got to keep that
right.
rocking.
Yours ain't a scraggly one, you know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. It's aspirational. Why cut it off?
Yeah.
It's a good beard.
You almost like James Harden. James Harden's stuck in the beard forever.
He's stuck in it. Can't do nothing.
The whole logo of beard.
Yeah. He's stuck with it.
Low key, the beard turned him up because,
Yeah. He looks nicer with it.
Before that, he was struggling.
Yeah.
Beard.
He looks nicer. We'll show you
I'll be honest. So I started growing a beard. My beard couldn't even connect. So I was probably 23. Like when it wasn't on some chin strap stuff. And I started growing it, man, because I was taking medicine and it was making my cheeks blow up. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I need to hide this.
And that's one of the reasons I didn't cut mine. One of the smaller reasons. I don't know what my jawline looks like right now. So I like, man, and I know the feeling of when a man cut a beard, you immediately realize why you grew a beard.
Booty face. You just look in the mirror and you just feel crazy.
Like, ooh, boy.
Yeah. So,
but it could be nice. It could come out. You got to keep something though.
I don't believe in just a military face. Ain't no reason to just have it. They be letting them grow beards now. We was coming up, cops police officers, military, you straight stash, dog.
Yeah.
All the grown men just had stashes. That's
It
it.
depends on how conservative your department is. Some of them still do it. Some of them really. I think my pops, they still do it.
So your dad was a cop when you was growing up.
Yeah.
You ain't never thought about that?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Thought about it real hard. I even took the PT test, blew that out the water, and went crazy. Whatever test you could take, I was smoking that.
Yeah.
Until the lie detector test. And then I graduated December 2011. I went to do the police thing. I shaved this was the last time I didn't have a beard. February 2012. Shaved my beard. My pops had me. I was in.
Yeah.
He had me in there. But I'm not gonna say I never lie, but I'm a very honest person. Right. Am I honest or am I truthful? I'm honest.
Yeah, I would
if
say
you
honest.
ask me,
Yeah.
no, I'm truthful. I'm
There you
truthful.
go.
If
There
you
you
ask
go.
me, I'll
There
tell
you
you the
go.
truth. If you don't ask me, I'll never tell you. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
No, facts.
I'm truthful.
That's when people like to say you're not forthcoming, but it's like,
Yeah.
I'm not just gonna share.
Yeah, I'm not
everything to you.
self-incriminating either.
But see, that's the crazy part though, because I'm sorry. Go ahead with your story.
Okay, anyways, yeah, a lot of detective tests, they ask me questions, we get through it. And I just, long story long, I had too much fun in college. They asked, when last time you smoked weed? And I graduated in December, I was like, oh, August. I had a good summer, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Man, the dude who was doing the test, he was like my pop's friend. He looked so hurt, bro.
He was like, oh, come on.
He damn near missed it up, and he said, all right, man, we gotta. If I would have just said, oh, I don't smoke weed.
Yeah.
They'd have went with
They
that.
ain't even finished like 6 months. You straight.
They'd have went with
Yeah.
that. You see what I'm saying? They wanted me in my pocket, like, man, you could beat the test. But you know what the truth of it is? It wasn't for me to be a police officer.
Exactly right.
Living in Waco, Texas. I wouldn't have had my wife. I wouldn't have, you know what I'm saying? Who knows?
It's crazy how that stuff works.
It might have got
out,
shot for $40,000.
Crazy how that stuff works. Out.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's like those doors shut on you for a reason, man.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
it's like I think perspective is just something that you have to get from two things. One, just struggle, but also believing in something. Like if you don't believe in nothing, like I don't know, I'm not gonna sit here and tell nobody to have no sort of religious thing, you know, but believe in something. So that way you can have something to fall back on when it ain't making no sense.
That would have been just a job.
Yeah,
You
for
know
sure.
what I'm saying? Would've
Same
been
with
just a
me, man.
job.
When I tried to be in pharmaceutical sales.
Yeah. And I'm risk averse. I wouldn't say I'm scary, but I'm risk averse. Like that's why I say I'm not
For
trying to get
sure.
shot for $40,000 in some overtime at that time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, chasing after people all crazy.
Hell, in Waco, and you know where they're gonna send you to East Waco, to the blackest part, which is fine. I love my people, but you know,
I love them enough to know when not to go over there.
come on now.
I love me more.
Only go to the hood for food.
Come on, man. I love me a lot more. I love me a lot more.
But yeah, so I did think about it, and after that, the hard times came. And by hard times, I mean 2 months and not just looking for a job. But then I found a job, and that was kind of my launch pad into what I'm doing.
How did
now.
Dad feel? Like he wanted you to do it?
Disappointed. He was disappointed. Proud now, but he was disappointed. You know, and as a Nigerian man, maybe embarrassed too. Maybe embarrassed. And I hate that I kind of put him through that.
Yeah.
What having to feel like that. Some of it is on him because just that Nigerian kind of trait of just worried about what people are thinking about you.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you where that came from.
Big time. Big time. Very worried about what people think about you. You know what I'm saying? Not, I ain't saying blanketed everybody, but that's a very common trait.
But see though, it's a common trait. I feel
I'm gonna embarrass you before you can embarrass me.
And I feel like that's amplified because, you know, when you coming from a foreign place, you have an idea, you have a perception of what things are. And so how people gonna look at you. You know what I'm saying? And so I think but I think parents do that a lot on their kids. Like, don't embarrass me. It's like, man, this kid is 5, bro. Like he's just being 5.
Yep.
You know, I had to learn that, but I didn't even. For instance, like with my son, you know him. Like,
he's a good kid. You like him.
If he feels something, he gonna say it.
He gonna say it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you out here, you know, you looking weak, or you get close to his face and your breath don't smell good, he gonna tell you
about it. Yeah.
You know. And so I stopped stopping him from doing that. And this is recent, bro. Until where now I just tell my family, you know what it is.
You know how he coming.
He gonna. So move accordingly. Don't look at me.
Again, he's truthful.
Because when do you how do you teach a kid to delineate when to be open and when not?
A phrase I use a lot is, it's not the children's job to make the adults comfortable.
And come on, man.
It's not at all.
But see, man, it's crazy you say that because we lean into comfort so much because parenting seems fun, right? And it is. But then there's times where it's like you got to have the hard conversations. You got to invoke the consequences, and that ain't always fun, bro.
Oh,
but
man.
it gets uncomfortable, and it's
Yeah.
uncomfortable also. Just I ain't gonna lie to you, like watching my wife talk to him sometimes in a way that I may talk to him, but seeing it outside of yourself, it's like,
It's like, hey, don't talk to my man like that. You know what I'm
You know
saying?
what I'm
But
saying?
then it's like, damn, I be.
but it's like, hey, that's his mama.
And
It
you
is
know
what it
what's
is.
crazy? I don't check in the moment. Like me and Jamie have these like basically halftime conversations. You know, let's get a media timeout, full timeout, and
Yeah,
we're
for
gonna
sure.
talk
For
about
sure.
like
For
how we
sure.
address him, what we. And it ain't me telling you you don't need to be doing this. It's because we're both working on similar things.
Right.
I came from being beat a lot. She came from maybe being berated with no apology. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just like we're both working on similar things, and we're both working to not give it to him, but
fact.
without making him a mark ass nigga.
No.
Like you still gotta
Bro,
raise him solid.
now that is the baseline of fatherhood. Like when you get out here in the world, just don't be no hoe, man.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
everything else I could deal with.
And by that, because my definition of what you just said could differ from other people's. Mine is just you don't ever have to be tough.
That's it.
You don't ever have to be brave.
Nope.
You just have to be solid, be firm, know what you're going with, know what you're not going with, know who you are.
Know who you
and
are.
Stand
dog.
on that.
Just know who you are and be cool
Yeah,
with that.
yeah.
If you know who you are, can't nobody really knock you off your square, man.
There it is.
It's the 8 Mile approach.
Know yourself, and also you do have to stand up into your responsibility. You cannot duck no responsibility. So if the responsibility does require bravery, that's what you're gonna have to be. If it does require toughness, that's what you'll have to be. But that does not have to be your character, as you know what I'm saying.
And you're gonna lose
Main
some.
character.
You know what I'm saying? Like you're gonna lose friends, you're gonna lose time, you're gonna
Mm-hmm.
but there ain't nothing wasted, bro. Like use everything. Like use the full be like we were, like our ancestors were. Like if you're gonna slaughter a pig, use the whole thing.
From the rooter to the tutor.
Yeah, use it all, bro, because it's gonna be you gotta press forward anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you throwing a tantrum, but what is that tantrum serving you?
Mm-hmm.
Right? You crying because your feelings is hurt. Cool, but are we learning the lessons of why our feelings are hurt?
Yeah.
Or are we just crying now because we hurt?
Right.
Like we're not gonna lean into the victim thing. For instance, the other day, man. So you know how I feel about crying. I don't care. Cry, get it out, and then let's figure out why you crying and move on.
Yeah.
But see, my son fell into this habit of like overdoing it.
I'm gonna cry out of it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like type of crying. Dog.
So I'll wait.
Yeah. So I'm just staring at him, man. Just staring, because what happened was he was getting frustrated because if he does things wrong too many times, he gets irritated.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because he feels like I should know this. And so he's conflating when I tell him, son, I don't want to tell you the same thing over and over and over and over. And discipline-wise, he's conflating that to he asking questions about his schoolwork.
Yeah.
Because he has a habit of rushing. You know? So I'm like, no, son, we're not going to do that. So now he's upset because he feels like he's being a burden.
Who gave
He
him
ain't
that,
though? The what?
That feeling.
So that's what we had to get to. So I'm like, son, do I make you feel that way?
Yeah.
And he's like, well, yeah. And I'm like, okay, well, here's the thing. I always tell him, if you tell me I'm doing something, then I can consider working on it. But if I don't know, I said, Daddy doesn't know everything. Because a long time ago, man, remember I shared with you that this was probably 2 years ago. He was crying real hard. I'm like, what's up, man? Because I just corrected him on something small. And he's like, I just want to be like you. And I'm like,
yeah.
well, do you think that Daddy's perfect? And he's like, well, yeah. And so we had to define what perfect is. And the thing about it, man, is I'm like, okay, am I putting on this facade that I don't make no mistakes?
Right. And
You know
got
what I'm
him.
saying?
Yeah.
Like, am I because I think men, we have this complex of wanting to be our kid's superhero. And to be truthful, man, we don't get to choose that. Like, it's not fair for us to put ourselves on this pedestal like we walk on water and not show them the full breath. Because honestly, being like Daddy is also what you feeling right now. So this overwhelming idea of perfectionism or being really hard on yourself, that's also me.
Yeah.
So you getting, like, if you want to be like Daddy, you got to understand what comes with all of it. So let me just be me as I parent you. You know what I'm saying? And help you guide, help guide you through these times like now. Like, son, you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to know all the answers. You can ask me 10 times. What I'm talking about is behavior. It's things like me telling you to pick up your toys and stuff like that. But you got to be careful because it's like they don't know the difference. But anyway, he starts crying. So I'm like, all right, so go ahead and let it out. So then he's walking to the bathroom and he just like letting out a wail. I had to stop him, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm like, all right, let's talk about this. because this is getting out of
Cause
hand.
like not where you getting that from.
Yeah, like, this is getting out of hand.
Yeah.
Like this yelling and screaming, that's not necessary. It's not. You're gonna cry. But this yelling and screaming, you're doing this now for extra effect. So I said, so here's what I want you to do. Lock it up. Man, that boy stopped crying so quick. So I'm like, all right, see? But then the old me would have dug in on that point. The new me is like, he got it, move on.
Yeah. Keep it pushing.
You know what I'm saying? Ain't no, like, punishment is...
Driving the
discipline
point
is just,
home has to be one of the most frustrating and annoying things to be on the receiving end of.
Bruh, because it's like, what are you getting? This is ego now. And people are married to their ego, bro. And they don't even know it. It's the most toxic relationship in the world.
Yeah.
But I can't, me driving home the point of this is not going to do punitive. Discipline ain't punitive in nature. You know, punishment is there when discipline is absent. So you can't, though there's definitions that, you know, intertwine the two in common everyday, you know, application, you receive punishment when you don't implement discipline.
Yeah.
So my discipline is not you getting in trouble. Matter of fact, I tell my son, ain't no getting in trouble. There's actions and consequences.
Right.
Period. Ain't no trouble out of trouble. So when you try to stay out of trouble is when you end up lying.
Yeah.
And now you find yourself in exactly where you don't want to be anyway.
Yeah.
So just go and tell me what happened, or I'm gonna see what happened, and we're gonna get straight to it and be done with it. I don't get any validation from being like king of the castle.
Nah, and that's the ego. Like you said, that's the ego that wants to do that. You know, I'm the king of the jungle here because, you know, you haven't conquered other spaces in your life, so you want to conquer this little space, this little person space, which is bullying.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
It's not dominion. Like
Yeah.
that's why I don't think that parenthood is an obligation, dog. Because it's like you have this person, you have a responsibility, but I feel like it's an appointment. Like, all right, I got this appointment, so I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna make sure I do what it takes to do the best I can. Say sorry when I mess up, because it's a relationship, dog. You want, just like you nurture any relationship, and just like being a parent, being a good parent is an absolute choice from time to time. Once this child grows up, they get to decide of how they want their relationship with you to be. You know what I'm saying? So you just want to make sure that you implement all the tools that you would in any relationship to where they want to have it sustained.
And if you're open to like learning and growth, having a child or having children is a gift. Because like my wife teaches me trust and partnership.
Okay.
My son teaches me selflessness, scheduling, more discipline, foresight, vision, planning. You know what I'm saying? He teaches me these things, and the biggest one, patience. Patience.
My son has taught me about me.
Yeah.
Because ain't nothing gonna reflect you. What you do, not what you say or what you think you do. What you actually do, that kid gonna do. And they gonna take it in one way or the other.
From
You know what I'm
zero to 100%, what percentage of you would you be okay with your son being exactly like you? What, like how much download, if he could do carbon copy, how much download would you be okay with?
That's hard for me to answer. And I say that because I want him to be 100% himself.
Sure.
And I don't really strive for him to have any of my attributes.
Okay.
If he picks them up, cool.
There's really great things about you though.
Yeah, and I don't. So one of my personal struggles is I don't like stop and celebrate myself. Like I think birthday parties are weird. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Like, hey, everybody, come eat dinner with me because I was born on this day.
You don't want to listen to Dreams and Nightmares intro at the address?
Nah, man.
With your closest friends?
Yeah, so I ain't never really had, because I mean, growing up, I stopped being a kid very early. And people say that as that's some sort of badge of honor, and it's not, bro. Like I don't know how to just be an how can I say, like unbridled joy of being a child. I don't know that. You know what I'm saying? And so I probably could tell you the things that I don't want him to have more than I do. The one thing I do want him to have, though, if I could say this, I'll probably say 25%. Because I think one of my strongest attributes is I only deal with what is. I have my hopes and dreams and stuff like that, but I still gonna bear down to, if you want to get there, where are you now? Like, what have you done to even think that you deserve to be in that place? So I do want him to have a sense of realism, but I don't want him to have I don't want to squelch his imagination because I still have
you don't want that nihilist.
I still have a vivid imagination as an adult. And I'll be 42. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's important to have to think that you can do anything with the understanding that you can't do everything. And what you good at is what you're good at, and what you can acquire, you can acquire. But at the end of the day, you are a special person. Like you have the confidence to know that I'm me. And you're you, and that's what you're okay with you over there, and I'm okay with me over here. And if those things happen to mesh, fine. If they don't, okay, that's also okay. But I think just going back to what like I've learned, I actually learned that from him is that people can love you, dog, and it don't have to be tied to nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like. Growing up the way, and my mom is amazing, and my dad's a good dude too. But at the end of the day, you know, when you grow up in certain environments, it's like you get taught that your deeds make people proud of you more or less.
Yeah.
You know, and it was hard for me to accept, you know, that truly unconditional love until I had my son, because I was able to give it.
Yeah.
And because I was able to give it, and I'll be honest with you, Ro, at first I had no control over my emotions. Whenever I had my son, like, I felt so much love for him that I would almost be in tears just holding him. Like nothing was even happening.
Nah, just crying.
Yeah, and I'm just like, man, what is going on? You know what I'm saying? It's crazy how it happened. Or like he'll just come to me and just come and sit in my lap as a kid, as a baby, and I'll just be about to cry. You know what I'm saying? And I think it was because my heart was being dealt with.
Yeah.
Like, bro, you don't, I don't know if you are, I don't know about the word deserve, but you are worthy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you're worthy for somebody to love you this much.
They come and poke you emotionally, like, you tough ass nigga.
Come on,
ass
man.
nigga.
Come on, bro. Like, I was
play
like, man,
Stevie Wonder song,
and
so you don't cry.
At first, man, I'm pushing him off, like, bro, get off me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
But man, now he about to be 7. His legs hang off and everything. If you want to climb up, come on, climb up, dog.
Because how long you gonna get?
How long you gonna get to do that? You know, there's gonna be a time where daddy ain't cool no more. You know, and I gotta explain to you that, hold on now, your dad's still cool. Like, don't trip.
And even scarier when daddy ain't here no more.
Come on, man.
You know, I was watching Joe Budden this morning as I was packing some orders, and he was like, you know, Thanksgiving, man, Pops pulled up and had the Tupperware for me. And I was like, damn, Joe 44, his dad's still in the mix with him. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what a blessing. Man. You would hope his dad gets to see his kids. What a blessing. I think about that all the time.
I had that thought yesterday, man, with somebody. You know, I'm working on VA for my mom, and the question was asked, well, how old is your mom? I'm like, dang, my mom is 64, bro.
Still in the mix.
Like, she's about to be 64. It's like, man, the finality of it all just starts to hit you, you know? It's like, whew, and that's tough to deal with. And so it's just like, you know, my mom and I have a good relationship, but we don't have necessarily, you know, like the classic mother-son, I'm gonna call you every day, you know, and a lot of that is my fault, you know, but I say all that to say is because it's no fault of anybody's. Like, she was put in a position where she had to do what she had to do for us to survive.
Yeah.
You know, I don't mean like we weren't in no shootouts or nothing like that. By survive, I mean like eat. You know what I'm saying? Like watching her, you know, have tears in her eyes because she's been braiding hair for 8 hours, and we got to figure out what we're gonna eat for the week.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? And I never told a lot of my friends don't even know about any of this. Those are my close friends. And so when I look at my son now, and it's like, how do I make sure that our relationship, regardless of what we go through as a family, regardless of what me and his mom go through, regardless of what him and I go through, how can I plant the seeds to make sure that our relationship is grown to where he does start to realize the complexities of adulthood that I'm showing grace.
Yeah, I think I don't have to answer to that, but I know one thing that's very important to me on just a compassion tip is that your kid knows they're heard and understood and then cared about. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you have fear, let's deal with that. I hear you, I empathize with that, let's deal with that. You're happy about something, you're excited about something. I don't want to villainize none of his experiences. Like when he like a girl, when he is into whatever activity he's into, when
Be
he just want to be there and
be
be
there.
in full support. I'm showing up to everything, face
Everything.
painted, whatever it gotta be.
Dog, for real, like I ain't even necessarily into some of this stuff, but I do it because who cares if I'm not into it? You know what I'm saying? It ain't me.
I
That's
haven't
doing
thought
it.
of one thing yet that I'm not into that he might like. Like one, right now he likes everything I like. You know, he really likes it, but he can't. I don't even think he could hit me with a zinger. Like
Right.
he down do theater, bet. Come on, your
Yeah.
mama do theater. Let's go.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
debate, chess, any of that. I'm trying to really. If he want to be a math week, I'm probably not into that, but I'm gonna be in full support because I need to learn too. But
It's just crazy because it's like, you know, you say that, not what you're saying, but it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
most people say, I'll be whatever he does, I'm gonna support, but then you gotta live your rhymes. When you start doing stuff and it's like, what? You want to do what?
yeah, what is this? Yeah, because it could be some weird shit. Because I ain't thought about no God. What if he's God? A God kid?
That's
Or,
what I'm saying.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. You just gotta. It's just you gotta let, because they still gonna bring you and them into whatever they do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's just, hey man, be who you are. Be confident. Who cares if people are uncomfortable around your confidence? That is
Yeah.
a them problem.
Do you?
Do you, dog?
Do you, Papa?
Yeah, we could fill in the rest later. And I actually spent the whole day at my son's school yesterday.
How was it?
It was odd to see like you, like this is your human being interact with other people. And so I just kind of sat back. I intentionally didn't get involved too much. And I just wanted to see how he acted, see how he, you know, moves around, you know, people I don't know, you know. And man, he handled himself really, really well. And just to see, because just 3 years ago, man, if I was in the room, he not going near no one else.
Really?
Very, very social. Coming out of COVID,
Yeah.
you know, very socially, like, I ain't gonna say awkward, but he was like, I don't know you.
Yeah.
I know my dad.
More comfortable in the isolation.
Yeah, so I'm gonna just stay over here. Now, man, he out there running laps. You know, some of the kids was cutting rules and talking, and you know, I'm out there, and he's like, so I said, well, why didn't you play one of his good friends? Well, why didn't you play basketball with him? He was like, because you were supposed to be running laps and not talking, and they were talking and they skipped their lap. So when I got done with my laps, I just went over here and played soccer. Ain't even nothing deep. I did what I was supposed to do, so I'm over here.
Yeah, I ain't fooling with them.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, man, I'm not. That doesn't make me more proud. I'm just happy that the things that we talk about are landed.
Yeah.
You know, that you do what you're supposed to do. It don't matter.
You
know,
feel like the level of proud of your son is infinite. It cannot grow more. It's pre-installed.
So, and I said this to him. I said, because there's times when he was younger, and I used to say that makes me happy, or that doesn't make me happy.
Yeah.
He would do stuff and then look back like, are you happy now, Daddy?
Yeah,
That's too heavy of a burden.
That's
bro.
too much.
And so I had to tell him just the other day, son, and I told my niece this, man.
You missed your opportunity though. You could have made a perennial all-star. You missed your opportunity though. You could have drove in.
Yeah, I could.
Not good enough.
I
son.
could.
Not good enough, Brad.
I could have Tiger Woods dad him.
Oh, for sure. Lose the relationship, but y'all come back to it.
Yeah, we come back after you make $1 billion.
Come on, man.
But I just tell him, man, ain't nothing you can do to make me love you more or less. Ain't nothing you can do to make me more or less proud of you. I may not be happy with what you do, but you know, if you go out and do something crazy, I'm gonna be upset with what you did, and you're gonna have to serve them consequences.
Yeah.
But I'm
Still
not.
rocking with you.
I'm still proud that you're my son.
Yeah.
You know, I'm still proud that who you are to me and who we are. That's not gonna change. You know, it's
That's comforting for them to know. You want them to be comfortable, like with you, no matter how uncomfortable.
Because you're gonna make mistakes, bro.
Yeah.
You're gonna jump out the window on some stuff, and then they tell you the full story, and you're like, my bad. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
so
no.
just on some parent stuff, you're gonna be like, hey man, I don't care what you did. And then once you actually calm down and hear the full story, you like, damn, I'm wilding. Yeah, that ain't called for
buy
that.
something, man. I'm sorry.
Now you got to dig yourself out of a hole. When I think parents feel like they start in 0 when really you start at 100.
Man.
You start at 100. Like this kid don't even know who you are. They just know, you know what? I see this person every day.
And they all right.
They give me milk.
Yeah.
They hold me when I cry. This is okay.
Yeah.
I think I like them better than I like other people.
Yeah, this my man.
Yeah. Then they realize that that's daddy, that's mommy. And it's like you start at 100, bro, but you can whittle that away.
Man, my son is so like, he almost came to work with me today because we were almost late to daycare.
Right.
Man, he's so into me, like enamored with me, and he wants to do everything I do. It's like literally my shit doesn't stink to him. Like he wants to be everywhere I am, doing anything I do. And it's so much so, like, when I come home from work, he could be at home with, like, his mom and his godmom, and he'll just be playing with them. He'll get up and just leave them. Daddy, daddy, daddy. You know, he'll do that, and he's screaming and he's running. And his godmom be like, oh, here we go. And roll her eyes, and she'd be like, my man, my man, my man.
My wife, she just accepted it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She just accepted it. Because she knows that I teach him, hey, mama's first.
Yeah.
Even above you.
Yeah.
Like, he asked me yesterday, he said, I thought I was first. I said, no. You know who's first.
Yeah.
Who? Mama. So what's your favorite month? January.
Yeah.
He said, why? I said, what happens in January? Mommy's birthday.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought I was first. No, it's never going to change.
Yeah.
So when we eat, has mama eaten? No. Okay, we need to make sure she eats.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you need to make sure you open the door for your mama.
Check for your mama.
Yeah,
man.
check for your mama. Daddy going to be here.
Yeah.
But it's crazy because in application, I'm not sure I'll always, you know what I'm saying? Like if we get into a spirited conversation or something, I got to make sure that I'm living my raps, but we can have that conversation. There's, you know what? I say that, but there's credibility to both sides, to seeing you work through an argument on both sides. And then there's some stuff that we got to table and say, okay, we got to talk about this in the locker room.
Yeah.
This ain't for cameras. Yeah, this ain't for the cameras.
Yeah.
But there is value in seeing him work through adversity, man. But I tell you what, dog, the coldest thing that happened yesterday when I was in his class, I was in a completely different classroom from his, and the teacher stops and goes, "You're Bradley's dad, huh?" And I said, "Yeah." She said, "Oh yeah, I don't even have to ask. Y'all look the exact same." I ain't gonna hold you, bro.
You like that?
I felt Super Saiyan. Yeah. I felt Super Saiyan. I'm like, you know. She's like, y'all look the same. You have the same kind of demeanor. Like, he's just great. We just love him here. I'm like, see, that's what I'm talking about. You know, and I just anytime somebody say your little man looks just like you or something.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of saying. Like, I didn't name my son a junior, right? I didn't make him a junior, but I love the connection because he's just like me.
Right.
And so the other day he did this thing, and I'm finna come change his diaper.
Yeah.
And he kind of knows it. He sees me grab the stuff, but he's in his room. I'm in the kitchen. He can see me down the hallway. And I pass through, and I see him kind of looking, turn from his TV, and he just jetted. And so in his room is the closet where I keep my golf clubs, my stuff. And he jetted, and Jamie said, "Where'd he go?" We laughed because we saw him do it. She's like, "Where did he go?" I didn't even have to look for him. I knew exactly what little nook he was in. Because it's just so many ways where he's just like me, dog.
Little things.
So when I talk about like the download, I'm okay if he was like 85% just like me. There's only a few traits that I would want him to have more, like more voice, speak up for yourself, more easily, more firmly, and be less needy of like a woman's love.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Be appreciative of it.
For sure.
But be less needy of a woman's love. Therefore, you know what I'm saying, you can spend more time knowing yourself and getting into you, and be more firm about what you want, and, you know, be good to the girls.
It took me a long time to learn myself outside of basketball.
Yeah.
And when I took basketball away from myself, because I ain't gonna sit up here and not take accountability. When I took basketball off the table for myself, man, I scrambled, bro. So I lost my confidence in my abilities when I was probably my second year in college. And so my college career, there's people who play with me in college who don't even think I'm ever good at basketball.
Did you get injured, or
so what happened was
lock you up?
So what happened was when I my junior year in high school, I got injured.
Okay.
And I came back too soon. I didn't play very well. My senior year in high school, I had a good individual year. But our team wasn't as successful as we could have or should have been. And I attribute it to that. You know what I'm saying? Like, looking back now, I could have made us better. So when I got to where I got to, I ended up sending film out because the place I was getting recruited to, I didn't really care to go. So I wanted to bet on myself, go junior college. At the time, that was possible.
Yeah.
And then, so I went there, man. And before I got there, I didn't really realize why I was even, because classically, I probably wasn't classically like a cold hooper.
Yeah.
I was just always good because of how I played.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I lost that. So now I'm sitting up here trying to change my game. I'm getting these things called Better Basketball DVDs. And I'm switching up all this stuff. And then I get to school and I start comparing myself.
Yeah.
So before that, every gym I walked in, I always thought I was the best dude there anyway. So I didn't need to compare. You know what I'm saying? Like I would get upset with my teammates because they looking down at the other team warm-ups. Like, man, what you looking at them for? Like I always felt like I was the best person walking.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To the point that but that was my safe haven from all the chaos that was going on in my personal life. So I knew I could control this, and I knew I was good at it.
Right.
When I got to college, man, I started to like veer my focus. And so when I got my opportunity, I wasn't ready.
Oh.
And it got to a bad road, to be honest, man. I don't think I've ever told anybody this. The first time I checked into a game, I was so checked out of who I was that I felt like I was having an out-of-body experience. Like the deja, like I had seen this and felt this before, and I knew I was in the game, but I wasn't in the game.
Wow.
Like I felt like it was some weird deja vu type stuff.
That's how I felt though. My first varsity, and that was in a spring game.
And I could never get it back, dog. I had good games here and there, but I second guessed myself for the rest of my career.
Really?
You know what I'm saying? I did.
You just made the stakes too high.
And so honestly, truth be told, so here's what I learned. Here's what I try to impart for my son, man, and any kid I talk to. Once you there, you already there.
Yeah.
Like there ain't no reason to see how'd you get here? Did he recruit you? It don't matter. You're all sitting in the same table. Your best bet is to do what you do very well and continue to do what you do well, and not compare yourself to somebody else that has a completely different situation than you. Because when your time comes for you to do what you do, you're not gonna be able to.
Yeah.
You don't forgot about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like what made I played hard. I was a good defender. I was super smart, IQ high. I could make shots. That's how I've always been. I didn't have the best handle, but I didn't turn the ball over. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I had good vision. I wasn't the fastest, but I was fast enough. I could get to where I needed to go when I needed to get there.
Yep.
I wasn't the highest jumper, but I could dunk vertical with two hands.
Oh,
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so it was these things that I had that I wasn't tapping into because I was so busy worrying about what I didn't have. And what's even worse, I was worrying about what did he have that I didn't. Like, why is he here and I'm not? Why is he recruited and I wasn't highly recruited? Why is he starting and I'm not starting?
Imposter kind of.
And it was the imposter syndrome that set in so bad, man, to where I started just searching for myself. And I didn't have the tools to look internally and say, bro, just hoop.
Yeah. And at the very least, it's like, don't you like this thing?
Yeah, and why ain't you cheering for your teammates for real?
Yeah.
Like why you not using your IQ from the sideline to where you locked in now?
Yeah, that was that your first time being presented with the opportunity to be successful and you turned it down?
Bruh, that's the first time that I went from starting my whole life. Like I got benched my sophomore year to come off the bench, but then I came off the bench and made all district. But and mind you, my sophomore year, I was getting handwritten letters from Rick Barnes at UT.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, so then I get to college, man, and I get 3 DMPs in a row. Like I didn't even get off. I didn't even take my warm up off. So now I'm on some nonsense. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't handle that well.
Nah.
And I was blessed because I got to go to my coach's court dedication, and I got to say thank you to him, and I got to apologize to him.
Yeah, for how you were.
For how I was
in that time.
I should have taken advantage of the opportunity. And the crazy part is, Ro, through all that adversity, I still had scholarship offers to Division IIs, and then I had a chance to be. I was a recruited walk-on at Texas A&M Corpus Christi, and I was on the team. Took my ESPN photo and everything. Shoes, jersey, number, roster.
And what?
And I quit 2 weeks before the season started.
You were scared.
No, what happened was so I played in the Midnight Madness. And I played well, and then at the end of the day, man, my reps started getting cut in practice. Long story short, I had a couple meetings. I had a meeting with the assistant coach, and he told me, pretty much, hey man, I don't know what to tell you. He was like, just keep chopping wood. Then the head coach called me in, and looking at it now at 41. That man didn't have to talk to me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I was a tweener. I wasn't a real point guard. Yeah. I was only 6 foot, so 2 was difficult at that level. But I could play. And you know what I'm saying? But then the change of 4-year, 3-hour practice instead of 2, set schedules, it was an adjustment. You know what I'm saying? It was. They all lived on campus with each other. I lived off campus because I wasn't on scholarship like that. But they found money for me. I was a part of the team. And he called me in, man, and there was a dude ahead of me that I just didn't like that dude. I ain't gonna lie to you. I still don't. But he just like on some 18-year-old stuff. But at the time he was like, man, we got these dudes, and honestly, just a numbers game. He said, if I got a 6'8" guy I'm going to play the 6'8" guy. He said, so, and this guy's transferring from another high school. If I say it, they're going to know who he is. So.
Okay.
And so I said, he said, so you may play, you may not. He said, we're happy to have you. We love you. But you could either be a small contributor maybe next year, or you can be the team Rudy. Yeah. Like Rudy from the movie.
Yeah.
And
never get in, but you.
No, Rudy's a cute story, but Rudy sucked. Yeah. Like, let's just be honest.
Yeah.
Man, I didn't even hear nothing he said after that.
Yeah.
My ego had just taken full control.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
your head probably got hot, stomach rose up.
Oh, man, my stomach dropped, and I had to fight back angry tears. I stood outside of his office for probably 10 minutes and just stood there. Now, from that meeting, dog, I walked to the locker room on some impulsive emotion. I was hoping that the door was locked, and it wasn't.
Got your shit.
I got my stuff. And I went back to his office, and they were having a coaches meeting, and I told him my decision. And then I stood outside that office I sat on the stairs and outside the office for 30 minutes because I knew I made the wrong choice. But I couldn't go back at this point. You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
And the crazy part is, my whole life dream was to play at North Carolina. Mm-hmm. And I knew after a certain time I wasn't going to get there. But our first game that year was against Florida State. Mm-hmm. Florida State is in the ACC. Mm-hmm. ACC is where North Carolina was at the time. Yeah, so I'd have been playing on the same court.
Yeah.
And instead, that night that they were playing at Florida State, I was out in the club. Because truthfully, I should have spent more time in that gym. Mm-hmm. Like when I was in junior college, I worked hard, but I could have worked harder. I could have not gone to parties. I could have not, done this, that. I could have been in that gym to where I let the work speak, Instead, I'm talking, And so, man, I ended up getting stabbed that night. They were playing, when they was at Florida State, I got stabbed at the club. And so I'm just looking, I'm in the hospital like, what am I doing, bro?
Man, when you out of alignment,
it gets wicked.
You out of the protection
it gets
too.
Wicked.
It gets nasty.
So I ended up going to Division III, man, because I thought I had more years left than I did.
Yeah.
So then I called a Division II coach that I was supposed to go to, and he was like, I can't promise you to come here with only 1 year, bro. Mm-hmm. So I had to go to Division III, and that was just a disaster. I played 7 games, then my rheumatoid kicked in, and that was the end of my career. Wow. Yep. So I scrambled, man, from 21 to probably 26, for real.
Man, how many open gyms was you at?
Man, I used to be, once I got back healthy, man, I was in Austin going crazy in rec leagues.
Yeah.
And then my rheumatoid kicked in again, so I had to sit that down.
That's the most dangerous nigga, too. He hurt. He's hurt, dog. He thinks Skip Bayless is watching the game.
And I still love basketball.
Yeah, yeah.
When people ask me, about certain jobs, and they're like, do you like that more than coaching? No, nothing I do in terms of occupation do I like more than coaching. It just aligns with who I am as a person.
What you like by the game.
Yeah, and the game was just I had to learn that the game wasn't that. The game was just a vehicle to do what you're supposed to be doing in life. Mm-hmm. And so once I let that go, though, man, then it's been a lot better for me. That's good. Yeah, but it was a struggle, dog. So I don't want my son to tie his worth to. I don't want him to have a. How can I put this? I don't want him to have a sanctuary where that becomes who he is. Wow. Like, this is just for you because you enjoy doing this. It's good for your dopamine, but it's not good. It's not who you are. And that was my escape, man. And so my escape became who I was because I was constantly trying to escape something. Yep. So when I didn't have that, I didn't have myself. And so I lost myself. I'm out here trying to smoke weed. I ain't even know weed smoker. Like, I tried to sell weed and I was terrible at it. My connect was like, man, give me my stuff.
Shit back. Friendly ass.
That's not who I am, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not no punk, but I'm not out here trying to start no fights. Yeah. Like, I'm just a regular dude, dog. I hoop, and I could have said no to a lot more things, but I lost myself. Yeah. And so,
wow.
Yeah, man. That's why I'm so adamant about it now. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
You was that rec league dude for a little piece of time.
I was.
Just trying to, but you know what, too? You look at that guy who's like going so hard at LA Fitness or 24, whoever got the gym. You look at him going so hard, it's like, dog, why does this mean so much to you? Because, like, I'm just trying to hold on to something.
Yeah, but see, I only knew, because, again, I wasn't the dude I wasn't Allen Iverson. Like, I didn't have this natural ability. My game it looked a little awkward now looking back. You know what I'm saying? But it was just effective, and so I only knew one way to play. Yeah. So I'm picking up full court in open gym just because that's what I knew. Yeah. Like, I knew that I was just going to will you into submission because I knew you was gonna quit before I was.
That's how I chose to play the game.
You know what I'm saying?
If you don't want to play that game, don't play that way.
Well, hey, you ain't supposed to be out here anyway.
Like Jordan said, don't play it that way.
Dog, I actually tricked like if you talk to some of my high school teammates, and they would think I was nuts.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just because I'm like, this light would just switch, man. I would get offended that the person is there. Like, why'd y'all show up to the game today?
Yeah, why you feel like
do you feel like you can win? Like, why do you feel like you can beat me? I got in my head so crazy.
Damn.
Yeah, I wanted to crush.
That's that level.
I wanted them to quit. Like, I didn't want I wanted you to quit playing basketball.
Yeah.
Altogether. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just.
You had pro mindset. Not truly, you had a pro mindset.
Yeah, I didn't nurture it. Because I didn't have anybody that had ever, like, I think completely differently than the rest of my family.
And being in Central Texas, what pro player would you have met or known that that you could have been running to at a gym? And we didn't have YouTube, and we couldn't watch interviews and all that to just know, like, hey, there's a switch. You flip a switch and you go from civilian to professional, and you are a true killer.
And I lost that switch, man. I started worrying about, like, when I played in high school, I didn't care how I looked.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If I'm yelling, screaming, I'm headbutting the basketball, they're like, man, this dude is nuts. But I didn't care. I didn't even know I was doing that stuff half the time. You know what I'm saying? But then when I got to college, I was worrying about how I was looking. I'm thinking about, okay, I'm only averaging 7, so I don't really have a voice. I just lost myself, bro, and I started second guessing everything.
Wow.
Everything.
Yeah, not being the man on the team anymore.
Yeah, and I didn't. But you know what? I still had opportunities, bro. Yeah. I just didn't. I could have been. I was a good enough player to play, Division I basketball and probably go overseas. But I got in my head so bad that I squashed my own talent.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, man. Appreciate you telling me that. I never knew that part of it.
Yeah, most people don't.
Damn. And I was thinking in my head, I'm like, man, that's the trouble with being 6 foot even too.
Yeah, you tween.
You're a tweener.
Yep.
I was always on B team. It was never any question, never any identity, nothing about none of that.